Hello there, it's Sean Usher here from Farnborough Rotary Club, and today we are giving out money. Yes, the money we collected on our Christmas float over the December period, we're actually dispersing that money to local charities today. And some of those local charities have come today to lunch to actually receive those cheques.
Farnborough Rotary is a part of Rotary International, and we as a club do an annual run of Christmas float collections. This year we were lucky enough to raise from our community £16,000. That money is, after Christmas, decided upon the sum we wish to disperse. We create a committee which organises the elections from the various committees. That goes through our club council, and eventually at the end of February that is decided upon as being our disbursement list. The charities receiving money are very diverse and we hope represent our support for our whole community. Some of them are local, some of them are national, some of them are international.
We're helping people in need, families in need. I'll give an example. Last week somebody came, contacted us wanting food. The lady of the house, the wife, has got a degenerative eye condition, and probably within the next 2 years she'll be blind. They have 3 children, her husband is self-employed, so he's had to give up work. And having given up work, it takes probably about 6 weeks minimum before they can get any form of benefit. So they're the sort of families we're helping them. You know, there's a lot of people say there's no poverty in Farnborough, but believe me, there's a heck of a lot of poverty in there.
No, seriously, Frimley is a fantastic local hospital. We're very lucky to have this hospital. I, for my sins, only joined at the beginning of this year, having worked for another medical charity before that. And I joined the hospital because it's my hospital. They looked after my mother when she had a stroke. My son was born there, various other things. So it's lovely to be working in an organisation which really is part of this community. And we really do appreciate everything that you and a lot of other people in this area do for us. Even though we're NHS funded and everyone thinks that some of the things we have to do as a charity really should be paid for by other people, yes, that's true. But the reality is, if it wasn't for donations through the generosity of organisations like this, that we wouldn't be able to do half the things we do at the moment. We recently just finished our breast care appeal. We wanted to raise £750,000 for a 3D machine which does various clever diagnostics and diagnosis work. We ended up with over £1 million, which was fantastic in just over 3 years. I've come into the charity and been told, here's the new thing, you're now launching the stroke appeal. So we're now working, our major appeal is now to support the stroke unit and to change a little bit how stroke units work. My mother had a stroke, I know a bit about strokes, and if anyone watched DIY SOS last night, that poor lady on there. Strokes are very debilitating. It's the biggest single cause of disability in the elderly. And the biggest single item that helps you to recover is being in something that doesn't look and feel like a hospital. Your environment is a massive impact. So we're completely rearranging how we're going to do stroke. It takes money. The NHS says, well, that's, you know, we provide a bed and a chair and doctors. And it's like, well, that's great, but actually you need a nice bed and a nice chair and you need a separate room for this. So we're filling in all the gaps to make sure that gets done. So we're very thankful for everything you've done for us today.
Freemap is, if you've not heard of it, is a national charity comprising something like 80 localised panels. We will design and manufacture technical aids for disabled people where that equipment is not available commercially, or if the client has a particular piece of equipment which doesn't quite do what they want to do, we are allowed to modify it. We're not allowed to make anything which is commercially available. We are a national organisation, as I said, but there is no central funding at all. Every panel in the country is expected to be self-financing. So we rely purely on donations from some of our clients. Obviously, however little want to make a donation to us, we'd accept it gratefully. But we rely solely, mainly on donations such as Rotary have been giving us. They've been supporting us now for many years, and extremely grateful for their doing so. What is this? We have virtually no overheads whatsoever. Every engineer works from his own workshop in his own house. We meet once every 2 months in a church hall in Ash, where we sit around the table and discuss all the various things, a little bit of lateral thinking and help from the other engineers.
Deverex House provides residential care for a number of elderly residents there, and also a daycare centre which caters for about 100 people a week. And of course the 100 people a week also gives respite to the carers for those 100 people who have the day in Deverex House. The League of Friends has been running for many years now. I'm treasurer. I was treasurer, actually. I stood down last week, so I'm here under false pretences. I did 19 years and I thought that was enough, and somebody else has taken over, and Jo Gosney has now taken over, and I think she's familiar to most of you here. And I'd like to thank Rotary for their support, not just tonight, but over many years where we've had support from Rotary and helped us with our funding. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Unlike Frimley Park Hospital, I'm not going to be interactive with you because and ask who has phoned the Samaritans. Because we offer a confidential service that is non-judgmental, and people are free to talk about whatever they want to talk about. We believe in self-determination. We like to obviously prevent suicide, but we don't stop suicide. We just try to prevent it by allowing people to talk to us. And they can talk to us either on the phone, through email, SMS. We have outreach where we go out to schools, sixth form colleges, and also Frimley Park Hospital in the A&E department on a Monday night. We're totally self-funding, and that's money's raised either from generous donations from the likes of the Rotary Club and also from our own fundraising. So thank you very much.
Hello everybody. I'd just like to start off saying thank you very much to Brian and all the Rotary Club. And the reason we found out about the Rotary Club is because they'd already helped one of our members, who's a disabled gentleman in the Farnborough area, to get himself an electric wheelchair because he was having to use a manual wheelchair. We are a day service in Hawley Blackwater, and we are part of the Leonard Cheshire organisation, who Leonard Cheshire, Wing Commander Cheshire, would have been 100. So we're fundraising on behalf of that as well. So the day service is all where we pick clients up from their home, bring them in our specially adapted minibuses so they can give their families respite for the day, and also with cutbacks. Obviously, people can't get on buses, so we use our buses to actually take them to different places. And the place they like going mostly is getting out to the seaside once a year.
I'm Mary Webb, the Corporate and Community Fundraiser at the Vine Centre. For those of you who don't know, the Vine is the charity that supports homeless and vulnerable adults. We currently have between 35 and 40 clients at any one time, and they can range from street homeless through to those who just need a little bit of support in their accommodation. Probably an example of what we do is to tell you about a client. Everyone tends to think that street homeless people are drunk, on drugs, etc. But I had the privilege to meet a young man a few weeks ago who came in to access our services, and I instantly realised there was something different about him. He was actually university educated, he had a career in law, he'd had a moment of youthful silliness, I suppose, which meant that he lost his job, his relationship broke down, he lost his accommodation, he'd been sofa surfing and run out of friends, and he found himself on the streets. You looked in his eyes and he was haunted. And within 2 weeks we had him in accommodation and back in employment, and he came to see me and he said, "Thank you so much." And I looked in his eyes and he was human again. And that's what we are about. We are about helping those who have lost all hope.
Good afternoon. I'm the chairman of Parkside. Many of you may have heard of us. We've been around since 1963. We provide services to people with learning disabilities. This year we have provided 35,000 hours of services to people with learning disabilities, and of course with the government spending cuts on social services, we anticipate that going up next year. This year, of that 35,000 hours that we've provided, 15,000 has been what we would call free services. That's free at the point of delivery. It doesn't mean to say, of course, it's free as far as we're concerned. Of course, we have to pay for the support workers, we have to pay for the transport and so on. And it's only thanks to the community and thanks to you, the Rotary, that we're able to do that. So thank you very much.
I'm Ellen from Parity For Disability. We're based in Farnborough and we run services for people with multiple disabilities. So we've got 3-day services in Farnborough, Camberley and Mitchett, with the Mitchett one just opened a couple of years ago because of demand. And really what we offer is the support that people need to just do the things that everybody expects to be able to do. So cooking and going out and learning and accessing amenities, and people continue achieving and working towards their potential. So we've got a high ratio of staff and we support people with a range of quite complex disabilities. The Rotary has been fantastic over the years, really. And last year in particular, they helped fund overhead hoists within our services. And people are now able to actually do a lot of walking and standing work and seeing things from a perspective that they were never able to see before, and doing things like artwork or other activities from a standing position and all the benefits that that holds. So thank you very much for the Rotary's help. You might have seen our minibuses, by the way, as well, driving around. And during the summer and Easter, those are often driven by Rotary members who are helping us out as volunteer drivers. So thank you very much for that as well, and for all your support. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I work for the Source Young People's Charity. We're a local charity. We're based in Rushmore in Aldershot, and we support and transform the lives of young people who are starting to struggle, maybe struggling at home or maybe struggling in school. We're best known for our anger management support, but we also provide counselling and mentoring. We provide people with bespoke, very specialist, one-to-one and group support. And through the sessions that we provide, we transform lives. We get people back into school, get people back into living at home or into accommodation, back on track with their lives. And we're really proud of what we're doing, and we're so grateful for the support of the Rotary. We've had a really tough few years, and your support's meant so much to us. Thank you so very much.